Are we somewhat just socially distant?
You're in my circle of 10.
Oh yes, that's right. So we're okay then.
We're okay.
You're in my circle of 10 as well.
Right? Top 10. I made the top 10 list.
That's right.
Is it recording?
It is.
Oh.
We are on and
We
hi.
are on and hi.
Welcome. This is Teach People How to Treat You. My name is Donna.
And my name is Nadine. Welcome.
And wow, it's been a while. Once again, our last video that we shot was, I believe March 10th and 2020.
It was right before
lockdown.
The lockdown.
Yeah.
Because we had done a video about how the media was handling COVID and whether or not it was setting a panic, which clearly it was probably it was a good thing that we had the media to keep us on top of everything that was going on, what we needed to do right away.
And at the time, my gosh, that was the last flight was going to Italy that night out of Toronto, and we didn't really know what we were in store for. And then everything just went gangbusters. I had planned a trip to Florida with my sister and my mother and my daughters, and we decided last minute on March 11th not to go.
Right.
And then there you have it. And thank goodness, because with every half hour that progressed after that, I was so grateful that we had decided to stay home because of what was progressing. But anyway, now here we're out of it. So not out of it, but out of
we're
that
coming
mode.
out of it.
Yes,
we're coming out of it with the different phases that each government is implementing to go through. So I don't know about everybody out there. I know I have COVID brain.
I have
I was actually concerned about doing the video today because I thought, what if I can't articulate my words? I could be like a toddler spoon feeding myself.
I know what you mean. I can't even say, I'm going to say the word closet and I can't think of it. You know, that place, the place, it's in there. You know, like I can't.
And there's hangers, not metal ones.
I know. That's what's going on in my life.
So we want to talk about how we're going to be coming out of this, out of COVID. Yes. We've been, I've been in isolation. I've been working from home. Both kids came home from university, finished their studies and their exams online. And now they're home. My son had a summer job, which he lost because of COVID. The office shut down. My daughter works for me, so she's working from home. And in that aspect, I've been part of the everyday world in my own industry. We were considered an essential service, being financial. I'm in the insurance business. So I've kind of watched how, because I do corporate services, I'm working with all kinds of companies. So at the front end, we had the hospitality services. I was getting tons and tons of emails about layoffs and deferred premium payments and how can we continue our benefits for our employees and so on and so forth. So I've kind of been following this because we had to track it for our policy holders. And now that it's coming back, I'm just curious, how are we going to look a year from now or even 6 months from now? Office buildings are not going to be at capacity like they were.
No, they can't be. It's impossible. And even just to move people up and down in an elevator will be a challenge. When you think about how many people would come and go in a big building like right in Toronto or somewhere dense like that, you would have people lining up because you can only have so many at a time. You were saying 3 allowed in your
three.
building.
I went to our Markham office on Monday, and like there are signs everywhere. First of all, they've got the building almost framed off with those police fences.
Oh my gosh, really? Like caution tape sort of thing?
Well, the metal gates that they put up like when you run in a marathon and that. So they have that. So a very specific entrance. Not both ends of the building are open so that they can watch the traffic coming in. They've now passed the bill that masks are going to be mandatory inside. So I can only speak to our building. When I walked in, the security guard was there, made sure that I had my mask on. And then, now I was there for a lunchtime meeting. I was not there at a peak hour, so I don't know what that's going to look like. It was okay for me to get up and down the elevator, 3 maximum. So I was okay going up. When I left, I had 2 of my employees with me, and so there was 3 of us in the elevator, and then it stopped at another floor, and the woman looked in and didn't get on. So to your point, I don't know what that's going to look like when we have high volume. I will say that for the most part, what I've been seeing is companies are really managing this quite well for the most part.
With the remote working.
With the remote working,
yeah.
so productivity is actually up. Even myself, my own company was a absolutely no work from home. It was old school. You had to be in the office. Like, we only implemented casual Fridays. I would have done casual Fridays every day, but anyway, my boss is watching. Sorry, hon. We only implemented casual Fridays, so the work from home thing was almost like a culture shock that went through the company. And now they're talking about closing down a couple of our offices because we can only rotate in a certain amount of people. More importantly, everybody has become more productive at home.
Which is so ironic to me. I wouldn't have expected that. I would expect for myself when I'm home, I get distracted. However, maybe I'm wrong on that, because then you can, if you make your own hours and you can cram everything in and you're not taking the time to travel to and from the office, and you maybe have less distractions, as a matter of fact, if you're not around other people to just kind of chat.
We have different distractions.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So somebody like me whose kids are usually at university or are grown, my distractions are more like when they get up in the middle of the day and I'm on a conference call. Yeah. Or the dogs are barking when I'm on a conference call, or somebody comes to the door. However, somebody like I have an assistant, she's got 2 toddlers at home. So her work hours changed immediately when we went into quarantine. You know, she could take phone calls at 7 a.m. until 8:30, and then, you know, then the little one went down for a nap, and then she was high productivity, from 11 a.m. until like 3 p.m. and then again. So what I believe is, if you're dedicated, and we're talking work here, if you're dedicated to attaining, you know, getting your job done, you're going to find it. Yeah. You're going to find a way to do it, and you're going to work, to your point, Donna, you're going to work your hours according to your private life schedule.
Exactly. And the other thing is, I think we were already headed this way in our society.
I agree.
It's just that this has been a catalyst. COVID has made it happen way sooner than anyone expected. And it's kind of cool too, that you can work from anywhere. If you think about it, the freedom that this is now allowing us, you could do your job from anywhere on the planet, which is quite spectacular, really.
It is. Yeah. It's incredible. And you're right. It was coming that way. Mm-hmm. The millennials were pushing it in that direction. Like, we've all seen those funny, you know, YouTube videos where a millennial is being interviewed by a person our age or even older, and it's like, so business hours are from 9 to 5, and the millennial's sitting there going, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I'll be here at 11, and I'll be gone by 4. You know, so they're just a different way of looking at things. The life-work balance is super high intensity with that generation and the generations behind them. So the old school gals like us, right, the workaholics and all that like, they think we're out of our minds.
Oh, sure. We probably are.
So we're going to have to adapt.
Yes.
To the new way of doing things. And, you know, so I want to just switch gears for a second. Yes. There's a debate going on in my circle of friends about whether or not, coming out of this, are people going to be more patient or the same or worse? Because you have to wait in line now. You have to book your time at the gym. You can't just, say, oh, I think I'll have a quick workout before I go home and pull into the gym and jump on the treadmill. You have to book your time, right? You have to, if you've only got an hour to go to Canadian Tire and do whatever, grocery shopping, you have to now allow for not traffic, but lineups.
Yes. Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen to the human race? As far as that, is there going to be lineup rage, like there was road rage?
I think there's going to be some of that, but it's hard to say, because I have encountered people that have been really lovely and patient and, no, hey, go ahead before me, that sort of thing happening in lineups. And then I've seen the other, where I've been in a grocery store and, God forbid, I went the wrong way with the arrows on I still cannot get my head around that. And so many times I still shop like I used to, and I'll be heading back to another aisle and not realizing that I'm going against the arrows, and I do get glared at. Oh, yes. I've been waved down, like, stop what you're doing, go back, and I find that really difficult. I worry about our climate. What are we going to do when it's winter and we have to line up? How will that work? And that may be where there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's going to be more, once again, that online shopping is off the charts, and I think it will just continue to skyrocket. So anyone in that business, they're doing a great job. Anyone who's in the grocery delivery, Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, any of those things, I believe, will just continue to flourish and grow. But how are we going to be, and how are people going to treat each other is my question. And how do we create an environment where we are more peaceful and kind and relaxed and understanding, as opposed to stressed out? I think the stress part is starting to go, because we now know what we're dealing with, as opposed to in the beginning when we didn't, and we're so concerned about if we did contract this disease, which I'm still scared about. I don't want to get that, nor do I want my mother or any of my close friends or loved ones. I don't know. What is your take on it, Nadine?
I think it's going to be, human nature is human nature. So it's going to, you're still going to have, like you're saying, you're still going to have the people that are going to be kind and understanding, like we do now, please go ahead, or, and then you're going to have other people who are not. They're going to be indignant. I had a woman, same thing, grocery store. She was coming up the aisle and I was coming out of another one to turn down. Actually, she was going the wrong way. So I turned and we almost collided with our little carts, and she said, "Get me my 6 feet."
Yeah.
Behind the mask. Good thing the masks are good now, because you can't identify people.
Yes.
And it startled me because of that. Like, it was just rude. My sister said that she was at the LCBO and there was a huge lineup. So this was a while back. I think it was when they were talking about whether or not LCBO was an essential service. So people flocked out to get stocked up, and there was a huge lineup around the building, and this woman jumped in front of my sister. And she said, "What are you doing?" Like, the lineup goes back there. And she said, "Well, I'm in a hurry." And my sister said to her, "We're all in the same boat here, and your priority is not any greater than mine." So how do I think we're going to come out of it? I think we're going to come out of it definitely with well, we have to, right? New ways of looking at things. We have to plan our days accordingly, because there's going to be different time constraints. And I honestly think that the younger generation, like kids our age, have taken this very, very seriously, the COVID. More so than, say, the older generations, right? Because I had issues with seniors at Costco not wearing masks, not respecting my space. And I don't know if some of it is because, they've endured so much more, like they've seen world wars and all that. We could debate this all day long.
We could.
I do think as a whole, we will come out a more cautious, healthier society. I do.
Yeah.
It's going to be an adjustment. It's going to take time. I also believe that our government has done a really good job, particularly in Ontario, which is where we are, has done a really good job at managing it, and how to, be aware and be courteous and respectful and mindful about what this could do to everybody.
Yes.
Right? So to your point, it's not just you being affected. You could be a carrier and not have the symptoms yet and pass it on. So we've done a good job as a province, and even as a country, of taking extreme precautions to try to keep the numbers down. That said, it's still rampant out there. China's going through its second wave of it now in full force. Italy managed it well when they shut down everything, and now they're reopening slowly, and it's okay. So I don't know. Like, it's still early to tell, I think.
Yeah.
Because we're still living through it, and we don't have the aftermath. When the vaccines become available, then we're going to see that's what I want to see, is what are we going to look like when the vaccine's available, after having had 2 years or more of living with this.
Yeah, with the social distancing. This is the hard thing for me. I love to hug people. I think I mentioned that in our last video, that I love that, and shaking hands and being very close, hands-on, person. And I it's so weird now to even watch something, a show on TV where you see it's a drama or what have you, and people are close like we used to be. I miss that already, and I wonder how it's going to be, and will I ever shake someone's hand again? You know, I really hope that we do eventually. Maybe that's the wrong thing to use, because maybe we won't do that ever again with people we are just meeting. I do know that I am so much more cautious now. I am so much more aware of keeping my hands clean, not that they weren't before, but hand sanitizer everywhere, and it is everywhere and it's available to us. So everybody's doing that. And I think that we've come to a place now where we're all pretty cool. And I just hope that we are going to be able to pull out of this. And I would love in my lifetime to see life go back to the way it was. I really am missing it terribly.
Yeah, me too. I miss that human because I'm a hugger too. And I miss the big family gatherings.
Yes.
You know, we've been getting together with our friends in smaller numbers, which is lovely because it does. So there's pros and like there's always like anything else. There's pros and cons. It's great to, you know, because we like to throw parties. You have all these, but you don't get to see everybody and talk to them for an extended amount of time. So now when we have smaller gatherings, you get to spend more time with people that you're close to and care about. It'll be interesting to see where we land on the other side of this. And to your point, I hope that we come out much better, more courteous, more understanding and patient of one another, because this was global. It wasn't isolated in any part of the world where, you know, viewers were thinking, oh my goodness, isn't it? Like, you know, when you read these horrible Mother Nature things, tsunamis and earthquakes and, you know, or worse, wars or mass shootings, for, you know, we're sitting as spectators going, oh my goodness, this is awful, it's so terrible, so tragic. And then, you know, we move on after that to going back to whatever's happening in our lives. This was global. Every single person walking the earth has been impacted by this one way or another. So I believe that this happened for a reason. That, first of all, the earth was sick, and this has helped the environment.
Absolutely, it really has. Yeah.
You know, I mean, we saw dolphins in the canal in Venice. Was that on the video? And I think there was a crocodile in there too, which I don't know if I like that. So this happened for a reason. There were people that you would call fortune tellers or psychics, that some people had predicted.
My favorite word, soothsayers. I love that word. Okay.
Had predicted something like this would happen. So those guys are like, right?
They did. And listen, Bill Gates predicted this would happen. So
right.
Yeah.
So it's happened for a reason. Yes. Let's hope that on the other side of this, the world, this is my cliche, the world is a better place. We're more mindful of each other, we're more respectful of each other, and we're kinder to each other in general.
And we just treat people
a
lot better than ever before, and continue to maintain that. So I guess that's about it. Would you say? Yeah,
I would. Did you want to tell them what's happening with us on
Oh my gosh.
Very exciting news.
Very exciting news. Our show, Teach People How to Treat You, has been picked up on Your TV, which is the local, what'd you call it? The local TV programming that Coach Go Cable, that they broadcast. So there's, we're on their TV listings now. So you can catch us on channel 23 or 700 in HD on your Coach Go box if you get Coach Go Cable. And there's a number of times we are aired between a Tuesday and a Wednesday, starting at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday evening, right through till Wednesday, I believe at around 5. I think, I could be wrong, but check your local listings. And so it's very exciting.
It's super exciting. You know, we've been doing this for about a year and a half now. And I mean, Donna, the credit goes to you for reaching out to those guys, and they said this is awesome, and they picked it up. So we're very excited.
Yes, we are. We're so grateful, and it's exciting for us too, in the sense that we can even reach more people now.
We can.
Yeah,
locally.
We hope that our message goes global. So On that note, thank you very much for watching.
Thank
Please
you.
like the video if you do, and subscribe. And we would love to hear from all of you. Please send us your comments, your feedback, and any topics that you would like to see us cover. Please let us know.
Okay.
Okay,
Great.
All right.
Thanks.
So thank you for watching.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.